Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Selling Tampa Season 1, Episode 6, and let's just jump right on into this episode because we don't have a minute to spare. We start off the episode with the ladies back in Tampa. They are fresh off their Miami trip, and now we see Miss Sharelle walk into the office and she has a brand new money green Chanel bag. She says that Chad always buys her new Chanel when she closes a deal. So we find out that she closed on Melvin and Monique's gorgeous home, the one for $7.5 million in Miami, and that is the biggest deal ever at Allure Realty. She's super ecstatic, and she says that now it shows that they are able to now do deals in the $10, $15 million, $20 million range, and she's just super excited. I said, well, won't he do it? Because this has to be like the second house that we've seen sold on this show. I was really happy to see Sharelle had sold that home, and I know that that must have been a fabulous commission. So during this meeting, Sharelle is laying down the law. She says that she's tired and how Allure Realty cannot survive on just two agents doing the damn thing. So baby, Sharelle lets them know that she's not playing during this meeting. She says, I need for everybody to be on the same page, and it just can't be the same two agents that are producing. So we already know that she's talking about Anne-Sophie and Colony because they are her top selling agents at Allure. Then Sharelle says, I don't know how much more plainly I can say this, but if I need to fire some people, then that's what I'm gonna have to do. So the camera pans to Alexis and Carla, and they both look nervous as hell. So Sharelle turns to the both of them and she says, Carla and Alexis, I'm talking to you guys. Y'all need to start producing or else. So now Alexis says, I just knew that she was going to point me out. I said, well, yeah, dummy, you've yet to sell a house. So she will call you out. You've been here all this time and haven't sold anything. You should have been dropped a year and a half ago. So now Carla says, Sharelle, I understand. I hear you loud and clear. I'm going to be on my A game, I promise you. And if I'm unable to get any clients in the door, I'll walk myself out before you fire me.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.
Then Sharelle ends the meeting by saying that she does not want to hear about any more side conversations, and if anybody's unhappy, then there's the door. So we already know that she's talking about Rena in regards to the conversation that Rena had with Anne-Sophie and Colony, trying to recruit them for her up-and-coming brokerage that she wants to start. I don't know how many more times I can keep saying it, but you should have kept your mouth shut. You should not have said anything to anybody about wanting to start your own brokerage. So now we jump over to a short scene with Anne-Sophie, Colony, and Sharelle having some drinks and some lunch. Anne-Sophie is like, so what's the real reason that you brought us out, Sharelle? So now Sharelle says, Rena told me in Miami about her wanting to start her own brokerage and how she spoke to you guys about it. So here goes Colony singing like a canary, and she's like, well, she had a listing and she invited the both of us, and she was there trying to recruit us for her new brokerage. So Anne-Sophie's looking at Colony like, well, that's not really how it went down. And she didn't say those exact words. So now Sharelle is pissed off and she says, well, that's not what Rena told me. Now I'm really pissed. So now Colony says, yeah, I know, Sharelle. I felt the same way because I didn't like that at all. I thought that was kind of sneaky of her. So Anne-Sophie is like, can I just say something? I don't think that it's a problem that Rena is thinking about starting her own thing. Like, you know, businesses can coexist, and that's not exactly how Rena said that. So now Colony jumps on Anne and she's like, wow, Anne, you're sitting up here changing your story in front of Sharelle because that's not what you said when we were in front of Rena. You were talking about how you don't like Allure Realty. So now Anne is shocked. Like, I can't believe that my friend is really going to sit up here and try to throw me under the bus. Now, can I say this for a minute? I feel like it's normal for people to vent about their jobs. And Anne was having one of those moments where she was venting. And I don't remember Anne saying anything that bad about Allure Realty. It's normal for people to be like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, sometimes, the boss can be kind of mean or kind of rude. And, I have thought about leaving before. People say that all the time about their jobs. What Anne said was no different or worse than what a lot of people say. That was really uncool for you to do that to your friend. And this is why I don't believe in trying to be friends with coworkers, because there's always some mess. And people always are trying to kiss up to the boss at the end of the day. So they will throw you under the bus to make themselves look good in front of the supervisor. In Colony, you look like a huge kiss ass doing that to your friend. I was in shock. I was like, wow. You're really going to do that to Anne? So Colony says in her confessional that she's upset with Anne because Anne is trying to downplay her conversation with Rena. I was like, but she has that right. What do you want her to say? Yeah, girl, I was dogging you out saying this, that, and the third. Most people are going to try to soften what they said in front of their supervisor, the person that's writing their checks. No, yes? And sticking your neck out for Sharelle when Sharelle would drop you tomorrow if you should start slipping with your deals. So now Sharelle says to Anne, Anne, if you had an issue with me, then you should have said something to me, like, don't say it behind my back to somebody else. Like, let me know. So now Anne says, look, Sharelle, I'm always going to be open to new opportunities, as she should be. Who said that you're going to stick with one job for the rest of your life? You are more than welcome, and you're actually smart if you do have your eyes out for other opportunities. So now Sharelle says, well, at the end of the day, Rena is no competition, so like whatever. I'm like, what a hateful thing to say. You shouldn't be looking at it like that. If you're good at what you do, it doesn't matter who else is doing the same thing as you. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a different flair on how they do things. You're not going to be somebody else. They're not going to be like you. You guys are all going to have your own twist on things. So you look kind of stupid trying to compare yourself or say, you know what? Well, they're no competition, or, whatever, girl, like you can't do it like me. Well, no, she can't do it like you, but you also can't do it like her. I don't like all this jealousy and weird vibes when somebody else wants to do something in the same industry. There's enough room for everybody, but it shows you where Sharelle's head's at, and it shows that she just wants to be the only one. And she is threatened by Rena wanting to start her own thing, because Rena has that added advantage of having her law degree, and she was a partner at a law firm for decades. So she has that advantage over Sharelle. I said, girl, you're doing all this talking, but wouldn't that be the gag if Rena ends up doing better than you if she opens her own brokerage? That would be real funny. And you sitting there, well, she's no competition, whatever. Like, why can't you just say, you know what, if that's what she wants to do, God bless her, I hope it does well, and we can all succeed. It's very sad. So now we flip back to all the ladies except for Sharelle in the office, and they're listening to Alexis make excuses about how she fumbled with Tennille's client, Ben. So she's like, yeah, I don't know what happened that day. I was just so nervous, and I made up a number about the property taxes, and I told him that the property taxes were only $6,000. And so Tennille interrupts and says, yeah, girl, I don't know where you got that number from, because the property taxes on that house are $90,000. And I'm like, let's just use our brains for just a minute. I said when she said $6,000 that was off. I have never sold a home ever, okay? I do not claim to know anything about real estate, but I do have common sense. The property taxes on a $14 million home would not be anybody's $6,000. Are you dumb? Anybody with half of a brain would make up a larger amount than that. So Tennille makes Alexis feel even worse, and I loved every single minute of it. She says, when Ben called me, he was shocked at your performance, and he told me that you were way off. So now Alexis says, yeah, I mean, again, I don't know what happened. I've never had an issue before. I said, yeah, you never had an issue because you never sold a house before. So now Alexis says, you know, things are just really hard right now because my fiance is transitioning out of the NFL. And I said, oh, so that means that money's tight then. Then she says that her mom is sick and she has to take care of her mom and all this other stuff. Joanna cuts in and says, Alexis, I understand that, but we all have families, we all have problems, we all make it work, so you need to make it work too. So now Rena says, Alexis, you need to decide if you're serious about your real estate career, because if not, then you might need to find something else to do. So Alexis gets defensive and she's upset and she feels like all the ladies are attacking her and they don't understand where she's coming from. Alexis honestly wants to be coddled. She doesn't want to be told what she's doing wrong. She wants to hear that it's okay. We understand. No, like you're there to make money. You're there to sell homes. You're there to be on your stuff. And honestly, there really can't be any slip-ups when you are a Black person in the luxury sector. You need to know your stuff from the inside out. That is unacceptable that you went to that listing unprepared. So now we jump over to the next scene with Anne-Sophie, Colony, Alexis, and Carla out for some lunch. Child, Anne-Sophie is still visibly pissed at what Colony did to her when they met up with Sharelle. She's not her usual bubbly self. She's very subdued, very quiet, very somber. So now Colony starts asking Carla if Carla has gotten any clients for this Arturo deal. Remember in episode 2 where we saw that Carla was invited in on that big deal to sell those houses by that real estate developer Arturo? Yeah. So Carla says, no, I haven't found any clients yet, and I already know that Sharelle is going to kill me. Now, I had said in that recap, I don't understand why you would bring in an agent who has yet to produce. Why would you bring them in to a big deal like that? Wouldn't you give that to Neil or Colony or Anne-Sophie or Rena? Why would you give Carla that? It makes no sense. And Carla is another Alexis too. She's making all these excuses saying, well, honestly, it's just really hard because I have kids. And then she says, the only reason why Anne-Sophie and Colony are doing so well is because they're child-free. I said, don't ever try to low-key insult me like, well, that's the only reason why you have X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z. Don't do that. Don't try to downplay or minimize my accomplishments because you think that I have it easier. I don't like that stuff. And it seemed really jealous to me for Carla to say that. Also, Carla, you sound stupid because Sharelle has 3 children. Joanna has a child. Rena has 2 kids. And they're all doing very well selling these houses. It's hard because you're not good at what you do and you have no clients. That's why it's hard for you. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Carla and Alexis can't own up to anything. Then Colony addresses why Carla hasn't been posting about this upcoming open house on her social media. So she's like, you know, honestly, I don't even know how to do social media like that. Like, you know, it's not my thing. I'm like, girl, you better learn how to use Instagram. Social media is not that hard. So anybody who says that, they're just full of it and they're lazy. So now Alexis comes to Carla's defense and she says, I know that Sharelle looks at me and Carla like we're dead weight, but honestly, when Sharelle hired me, she knew that I had a lot going on in my life and I had a lot on my plate. I'm like, do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth? That is not an excuse. If things are so bad and so overwhelming, then you might need to take a leave of absence. But everybody has a lot going on, sweetheart. It's not just you. If everybody else can seem to make it work, then what's your excuse? Alexis and Carla have a very poor work ethic and they want to blame everybody else except themselves. So now Colony tries to give some advice to Karla and Alexis, and then Anne-Sophie cuts her off, and she's like, I just want to say that you guys can do it and I believe in you. So Colony gets upset and she's like, damn girl, can I finish my sentence please? Like, you just interrupted me for no reason. So Anne's like, okay, girl, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, my bad. So then Colony says, you keep interrupting me, like you keep cutting me off, I don't like it, can you stop doing that? So now Anne is taken aback, and you could tell that she's upset because that's her friend. And for her friend to talk to her like that, she's upset. Honestly, I don't think that Anne-Sophie was trying to cut off Colony on purpose, and I thought that Colony's reaction to it was a little bit much. And I'm a believer in don't try to embarrass your friend in front of other people. Pull her to the side and say, hey girl, what was that all about when you cut me off? But don't do that in front of Alexis and Karla. So now Alexis and Karla are looking at them like, oh, like there's some mess going on between Anne-Sophie and Colony. I wonder what's going on. Also, can we talk about the food in this scene? Whatever restaurant they were at, I want to go there because they had some lobster and waffles. Oh my gosh, my mouth was watering. Like that looks so good. And if you know me, I love lobster. So just know that I was salivating.
I love it.
So the scene ends with Colony saying, look, Sharelle is not playing with y'all, and y'all need to step it up because she will replace you guys, and I don't want that. Like, I want you guys to stay here at Allure. We move on to the next scene with Karla. She is staging one of Arturo's homes. This home is going for $1.4 million. The commission is $41,000, and Karla's excited but nervous because she needs her clients to show up and show out. Like, she needs somebody to make an offer or else she'll be fired. So all the other agents come over to the house and they're all like, Karla, you should definitely be able to sell this home. It's a great price, great location, beautiful home, newly built. Like, you should have no issue. So Karla's like, thank you. I hope so. Just like pray that I can get an offer today. So Alexis actually knew a few terms, and I said, well, half a point for you, Alexis. You actually do know something. Now we see Sharelle and Joanna show up to the open house. They're impressed by this home, and they feel like Karla should be able to sell it by the end of the day. So we see the DJ there. They have the champagne going, and they also have a food truck. I said there is nothing like some food and champagne while you are touring a gorgeous home. So now the potential buyers start showing up, and everybody is super excited. Karla's a bit nervous because none of her potential buyers have shown up. I said, Karla can't catch a damn break. How is this your open house, but all the other agents were able to bring clients except for you? A mess. I personally believe that Karla doesn't know anybody who's in the market for these homes, and she's just lying and trying to stall. So while the open house is going on, we see Karla and Colony go off to the side to talk. Karla's asking about the tension that she noticed between Colony and Anne-Sophie when they were out at lunch. So now Colony tells a whole story about how Rena approached them about opening up her own brokerage and how she was loyal to Sharelle and said hell no to Rena, and how Anne is being disloyal and she's considering going with Rena. I said, first of all, this is inappropriate to be discussing this at an open house. Y'all are there to sell this home. You're not there to talk about petty drama and petty gossip. Do this elsewhere. I just really get annoyed at the lack of professionalism. So while Karla and Colony are talking, we see Sharelle pull Rena to the side, and Sharelle says, Rena, I went out with Colony and Anne-Sophie the other day, and they told me that you were trying to recruit them at your listing. And you didn't tell me that when you told me the news in Miami. So Rena says, look, I may have withheld a few details, but yes, I did confide in them about opening up my own brokerage when I spoke to them about it. So Sharelle says, Rena, what's going on? Like, what's bringing all this about? Like, what is it? Rena says, Sharelle, it's nothing personal. It's just business. I just felt some sort of way when you discussed the pay rate. And then when I had questions, you were like, well, if you don't like it, then there's the door. And I felt some way about that. So Sharelle says, fine, I understand that, but it looks like you're plotting on me. So now Rena says, no, it's not that at all. And then Sharelle says, look, I know that I might not have the best delivery, but you can always come to me. And on top of that, I want you to know that I support you, but I just want respect. So now Rena says, I hear you, but I want respect too. Then Rena continues by saying that she's been with Sharelle since the ground up, and she apologizes if Sharelle took it the wrong way or thought that Rena was trying to go behind her back. Then she adds that she supports Sharelle 200% and that she's behind her. So now Sharelle says, thank you, I appreciate that, and you're right, I can be better with my words, but I do want you to know that I want to support you, I want to help you, and if you do choose to leave, I want it to be that we're still on good terms. Like, I don't want you to do this and we're on bad terms. So Rena agrees, and now they hug it out and they're good. So Rena and Sharelle go back into the open house, and Sharelle is actually impressed by Carla. She says that Carla showed up and showed out, and how she wasn't expecting Carla to get this big turnout. I said, Sharelle, that's not Carla. That's everybody else bringing their clients in to help Carla out. Carla said it herself that none of her clients showed up, and how she was scared to death, and how Sharelle was going to kill her. Again, I'm tired of these women who don't have the contacts, the connections, or the work ethic trying to get into luxury real estate, and they're making fools of themselves. It's clear that Carla is not equipped to deal with the luxury real estate market, because the fact that she's yet to bring a client in, that's unacceptable. But I said, well, thank God that Connie and Anne-Sophie and Tennille and everybody else showed up and showed out, because it would have been real bad for Carla. Now we move on to the final scene of the episode, and we find out that Sharelle is pregnant. She's shocked, and she's like, I was not expecting to have a baby right now. And she's nervous because she knows that this is about to change everything. I said, child, Ocho-Cinco already has 7 children. You already have 3. Now this baby's about to make it 11 kids total. I said, my goodness. But yeah, Sharelle is pregnant, so we're going to see how that plays out with her telling everybody and then telling Chad. But y'all, another fantastic episode. Karla and Alexis need to go. I'm tired of their excuses. I'm sick of the BS. They're obviously not able to handle the pressures of being in the luxury real estate market. But again, thank you all for watching my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.